Welcome to the deep dive. Ready to go beyond all the ChatGPT hype?
Let's do it.
All right, so we're diving into some fascinating research today, looking at how AI could actually make us better thinkers.
Better thinkers.
Yeah, seriously. We're going to unpack this study done with university students in Colombia.
Colombia. Interesting.
And trust me, the findings are pretty mind-blowing.
All right, I'm all ears. What's the setup?
Okay, so picture this. 95 students studying international relations.
International relations, a field where things can get pretty complex.
Exactly. And they split these students into two groups.
Classic study design.
One group used ChatGPT to prep for debates. The other used traditional methods.
So like textbooks, articles, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Now hold on to your hats because the ChatGPT group,
Yeah.
they totally crushed it.
Crushed it, huh? Like how so?
Their critical thinking scores, through the roof.
That's impressive, but how was the study designed? Seems like there could be a lot of variability there.
Right, good point. It was a randomized controlled trial at a private university.
Okay, so pretty rigorous.
Totally. Ethically reviewed, too. All the good stuff. And they used pre- and post-tests to measure learning gains. Not just random chance, they actually improved.
That's reassuring. Always good to see a well-designed study.
Absolutely. So back to these students. Not only did they grasp these complex ideas better,
I mean, international relations, it's a lot to wrap your head around.
right, but they also got better at dissecting different viewpoints, building solid arguments the whole 9 yards.
So did the study say anything about how ChatGPT was actually helping them?
Actually, yeah, they did. The research suggests ChatGPT might help us process complex info without getting overwhelmed.
That makes sense, especially with something as multifaceted as international relations.
Totally. Tons of information, different perspectives, historical context. It's a lot to juggle.
For sure. So how did the students actually use ChatGPT?
Well, think of it like this. They used it to brainstorm, right?
Sure.
Get different viewpoints on, say, the South China Sea dispute.
Oh, wow, that's a hot topic.
Right. And even fact-check information.
So like having a super smart debate partner on call 247.
Exactly. But there's a catch.
A catch.
The researchers were super clear that ChatGPT is a tool, not a crutch.
Ah, okay, so not just letting the AI do all the thinking.
Exactly. The students were taught to use it strategically, question the information, fact-check it.
Not just blindly accepting whatever it spits out.
Exactly. Because we all know about those AI hallucinations, right?
Right.
Or just make stuff up.
Oh, for sure. You can't skip doing your own thinking, even with AI.
No way. And the study actually talks about this thing called digital literacy, basically being able to evaluate the info you get from AI and use it effectively.
So it's not enough to just know how to use technology.
Nope. Got to understand its limitations, be aware of potential biases.
And be able to critically analyze the info it gives you.
Right. Which is only going to get more important as AI becomes more common.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got these students. They're using ChatGPT to prep for debates. Their critical thinking skills are soaring. But I'm curious about the debates themselves. How did they actually work?
Well, it wasn't just passively reading ChatGPT's responses.
So what were they doing?
They were actively engaging with it, posing follow-up questions, challenging its arguments, having a real back and forth.
A real dialogue, almost like a...
Socratic dialogue, but with an AI partner.
Interesting. So it wasn't about getting information from ChatGPT. It was about using it to sharpen their own thinking skills.
Precisely.
Hmm?
And get this, the control group in the study. They participated in traditional debates, no ChatGPT, and their learning gains nowhere near as impressive.
Wow. That's pretty compelling evidence for interactive learning, even when it's with AI.
Right. But now I'm thinking bigger picture. What does all this mean for the future of education? Could AI level the playing field for students in developing nations? How do we ensure access to this kind of technology? So many questions.
Definitely food for thought.
We'll dive into those questions right after this. Wait, we're not doing breaks. We're just going to keep rolling.
Yep. Let's keep this deep dive going.
All right, on to the next part then. Okay, so we were just talking about AI leveling the playing field, especially for students in developing nations, right? Imagine students in remote areas suddenly able to tap into these incredible personalized learning experiences.
Definitely exciting to think about, right? The study authors specifically highlight that potential. AI-assisted learning, a game changer for students without access to traditional resources.
But hold on, even if we can overcome those access barriers, there's still this whole question of implementation. How do we effectively integrate AI into education? It's not like we can just drop ChatGPT into every classroom and expect miracles.
Yeah, not quite plug and play, right? Teachers need training, curriculum needs to be adapted. It's a huge undertaking.
Absolutely, not a simple fix at all. So many factors to consider: technical infrastructure, the teaching methods, how it all fits together, and of course we have to make sure these tools are being used ethically and responsibly. Can't just assume technology will solve all our problems. Careful planning and implementation are key.
Couldn't agree more. So let's say we figure out the logistics, the ethics. How would this actually change the way we learn? Would traditional classrooms become obsolete? Everyone walking around with AI tutors in their pockets?
Right, like what's the end game here?
Things get really interesting there. I don't think AI will replace teachers completely, but it could fundamentally change their role. Imagine teachers become facilitators, guiding students as they learn with these AI tools.
So less lecturing from the front of the classroom, more like coaches, helping students navigate this new landscape of information and AI.
Precisely. Providing context, encouraging critical thinking, helping students develop those digital literacy skills we talked about earlier. And think about the potential for personalized learning. AI could adapt to each student's individual pace and learning style, providing customized feedback and support along the way.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. But let's bring it back to this study for a sec. We've talked about ChatGPT in these debates, but what were they actually debating? What kind of international relations issues were they tackling?
A whole range of topics, from contemporary conflicts like the South China Sea dispute to historical events like the Cuban Missile Crisis. The idea was to expose students to complex, real-world issues and see how AI could help them analyze those issues from multiple perspectives.
So not just hypothetical scenarios, they were actually using ChatGPT to dive into real international relations challenges.
Precisely. And the researchers found that ChatGPT was particularly helpful in providing historical context and generating diverse viewpoints, like having access to a vast library of information and perspectives, all curated and synthesized by the AI.
Makes sense. Keeping up with all the nuances and players in international relations can be tough, even for experts. But
Yeah.
imagine having AI that can instantly pull up relevant info, connect the dots, even highlight potential biases. Incredibly valuable.
Like a super-powered research assistant at your fingertips. But again, it always comes back to digital literacy. Students need to be able to evaluate the information ChatGPT provides, to question its assumptions, and to ultimately form their own conclusions.
It's about using AI to enhance your own understanding, not blindly trusting it. And that's a skill that goes way beyond just international relations, applicable to any field where you're dealing with complex information.
Absolutely. We're talking about critical thinking skills that are essential for navigating the information age, regardless of your specific interest.
Okay, so we've established that AI has the potential to transform education. But I'm curious, did this study mention anything about the students' own perceptions of using ChatGPT? Did they actually enjoy it? Did they feel like it was helping them learn?
Great question. The researchers did look into that. They conducted post-study interviews with the students to get their feedback, and overall, the responses were positive. Many students reported that using ChatGPT helped them feel more confident in their ability to research, analyze, and debate complex issues.
So it wasn't just about their scores improving, they actually felt like they were becoming better thinkers. That's awesome.
Exactly. The AI wasn't just a gimmick, it was actually making a difference in how they approached learning.
And that's what we want, right? Tools that empower students to become active learners, not just passive recipients of information. This study suggests that AI, when used strategically, can really facilitate deep, meaningful learning.
Absolutely. So we've talked a lot about the potential upsides of AI in education, but it can't all be positive, right? What are some of the potential downsides, things we need to be cautious about as we integrate AI into learning?
Yeah, gotta look at both sides of the coin, right?
Definitely. Like any powerful tool, AI has the potential for misuse or unintended consequences. One of the biggest concerns, bias in AI algorithms. If the data used to train those algorithms is biased, then the AI's output will also be biased, and that could perpetuate existing inequalities in education.
That's a huge issue. We've already seen examples of AI bias in other areas, like facial recognition technology. We absolutely have to address these biases and ensure that AI tools used in education are fair and equitable for all students.
Another potential pitfall is the over-reliance on AI. Students becoming too dependent on AI to do their thinking for them. They might lose the ability to analyze information independently, formulate their own arguments, challenge assumptions.
So finding that balance is key. Leveraging the power of AI while ensuring students still develop those essential human skills that are crucial for success in any field.
And then there's the whole issue of privacy and data security. As AI becomes more integrated into education, we need to be mindful of how student data is being collected, stored, and used. Safeguards to protect student privacy and prevent the misuse of their personal information are essential.
So many things to consider. It's like walking a tightrope, embracing the potential benefits while being cautious about the risks. And it's a conversation that needs to involve everyone: educators, policymakers, parents, even the students themselves.
Absolutely. This isn't something that can be decided from the top down. It requires a collaborative effort to ensure AI is used ethically, effectively, and in a way that truly benefits all learners.
All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm left feeling both excited and cautious. AI has the potential to revolutionize education, but it's up to us to shape that revolution in a way that's equitable, ethical, and ultimately serves the best interests of all students.
Perfectly said. We're at a pivotal moment, and the choices we make now will have huge implications for the future of learning. It's an exciting time to be alive, and I'm eager to see how this all unfolds.
Me too. And on that note, we want to hear from you, the listener. How do you feel about AI in education? Hopes, concerns? Share your thoughts with us on social media or in the comments below. We want to keep this conversation going.
Wow, it's incredible how this one research study has opened up so many different conversations.
I know, right?
We went from ChatGPT and a Columbian university to talking about the future of learning globally.
It does feel like we're on the edge of something big.
It really does. And what's really cool is this isn't just about technology, right?
No, not at all.
It's about human potential, If we can use AI to help people learn bigger, become more critical thinkers, the possibilities are pretty amazing.
Totally. What doors could that open for us personally and as a society?
Big question.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the tech side, but ultimately it's about how this can help us become better versions of ourselves.
Oh, exactly.
Imagine a world where learning is just easier, more engaging, more personalized.
Who wouldn't want that?
Seriously.
Yeah.
And this research, it gives us a glimpse of what that could look like.
It's not perfect, of course. We talked about the challenges, the risks,
Definitely.
but the potential is there, and that's pretty exciting.
It is. So for you, dear listener, the question is, how can you apply these ideas?
Oh, good point.
Even if you're not, studying international relations in Columbia.
Right.
The main ideas here, they're universal.
Yeah.
How can you use AI as a tool to learn better?
It's a good challenge.
What can you do to develop that digital literacy so you're not just passively taking in information, but actually thinking critically about it?
Such an important skill.
Totally. This deep dive, it wasn't just about one research paper, right?
No.
It was about sparking a new way of thinking about how we learn.
And as AI keeps developing, those skills will only become more important.
That's for sure.
We're all lifelong learners now, aren't we?
I guess so.
And it's up to each of us to, figure out the tools and strategies that help us keep up in this crazy, ever-changing world.
Well said. So, as we wrap things up here, we want to leave you with one final thought. We've talked about AI as this tool for learning.
Right.
But what if it becomes even more than that?
More. Like what?
What if AI actually becomes like a collaborator in learning, a partner in our quest for knowledge?
Oh.
What kind of possibilities could that open up?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Something to think about as you continue your own learning journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.